Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jay Talks Philadelphia Eagles Football 2020 season week 3 recap, where I go over the stats, some of the games, go over the game analysis and stuff like that, and my pros and cons, and next week's preview. So as we all know, if you follow the Philadelphia Eagles, they were tied the Cincinnati Bengals 23-23 all. It was a ugly game nonetheless. It was ugly. I went to overtime. Eagles had a chance to win it in overtime, but unfortunately a bonehead, I'll just say that, false start on the offense, put them out field goal range, so they punted the ball, and that's where it ended there, which I saw. Carson Wentz had another bad game. He threw 2 interceptions. I don't know about the first one. It might have been tipped, but the other one he just threw right to the team. He didn't even go through progression. He threw right. He was looking for Zachers, and he just threw to the other team, which is unexcusable. He needs to be better, and you can tell he was frustrated in himself too. He also missed a wide open Miles Sanders, and he was open for a touchdown, and he could have been a touchdown if he would have hit him. And it's been frustrating. The play call was bad. They had very little running the ball. They should have kept feeding Miles Sanders. This team is pass happy. They need to stop. This is out of control and getting ridiculous. Even though this team should have lost, but it ended in a tie. There's some things we'll go over some of the stats and stuff like that. So overall, let's go to the stats. Total yards. Eagles had more stats than the Bengals, 381 total yards to 304. Eagles had less passing yards than the Bengals. Bengals had 256. Eagles had 206. Rushing yards altogether. Eagles had a total of 175 yards rushing. Bengals had 48 yards per play. Eagles had 4.4 yards per play. Bengals had 4.3. Eagles had more first downs than the Bengals by 3, 27-24. Eagles were not that great, or Cincinnati. With third down efficiency, Eagles had 10 out of 21, and Cincinnati 3 out of 13. No one try on fourth down. Total plays, Eagles had 86, Bengals had 70. Eagles allowed 3 sacks, was a plus, and Bengals got allowed 8 sacks. Punts, Bengals had more punts, 7 than Eagles 6. Penalties, Eagles had 11, and Bengals had 9. No fumbles, interceptions by Wentz. Eagles had more time of possession, 37 minutes and 44 seconds, and the Bengals had 32 minutes and 16 seconds of that. Let me go ahead and go to the Eagles roster. And Carson Wentz was 29 of 47. That's too many passes. Too many passes. They need to run the ball more. I'll just say that now. 225 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. That needs to stop. All right. Miles Sanders had 18 carries for 95 yards. They need to feed him at least 25 to 26 or 30 carries a game. This is getting out of control. They need to adjust the play call right there. Carson Wentz ran for ran the ball 9 times, 65 yards, and got the tie and score. Corey Clement ran for 3 carries for 8 yards. Jalen Hurts ran twice for 8 yards. Boston Scott ran for 3 times for 5 yards, and Gregor ran at once for a -6. All right, we'll go to the receiving. Greg Ward had 8 catches for 72 yards. Good game for him. Zach Ertz had 7 catches, 70 yards. I forgot to mention Greg Woodhouse had a touchdown. Devontae Burnett, 3 catches. That's prime. 3 catches, 19 yards. Jordan Hightower, 2 catches, 19 yards. Richard Rodgers, 2 catches, 15 yards. No score. Mount Sanders have caught 4 passes for 12 yards. Jackson caught 2 for 11. He was out with a hamstring. Hope he's all right. And also, we also lost Jason Peters with an ankle injury. Hope it's not too serious as well. And Dallas Carr's out as well. Dallas Carr caught 1 for 7 and no catches for Boston Scott. Defense. Avon Maddox and Darius Slay had 7 tackles each. Corey LeBlanc, I can't even pronounce it. I hope I'm pronouncing it. Had 5 tackles, 2 assisted. Nathan Gray had 4 tackles, 4 assisted. Branga had 4 tackles, 2 sacks. Derek Burnett had 4 tackles, 2 sacks. Jalen Mills had 3 tackles and a sack and a half. Rodney McLeod had 2 tackles. Trayvon Williams had 2 tackles. Fletcher Cox had 2 tackles and a sack. T.J. Edwards had 1 tackle. Alice Singletary had 1 tackle. Jordan Sweat had a tackle and a sack. Nickel Robley, I believe I'm saying his name right, had 1 tackle. And Jared Avery had 2 on a tackle. Malik Jack has 2 assisted but twice on a tackle and a half sack. And you have nothing else on this. Duke Isaac or Marcus Oak punt. Kick returns, no kick returns there. Greg Rowe had 2 punt returns for 2 yards. Jake Elliott with 3 field goals made today. And Cameron Jones with 6 punts. That's all the stats right there for the Eagles. Now, my pros for the Eagles. Obviously, number one, I'm going to just go right to Greg Ward. Had a good game. Even he came in, filled in for the Andrew Jackson in the game. Got 8 passes, 72 yards, and a score. Good job for him. My second pro is Miles Sanders. Even though he didn't have the game that he probably wanted, even though it was only 95 yards and 18 carries, he did his part. I like Miles Sanders. My third pro is the Eagles defense getting at least a total of 8 sacks. Make sure it's right. Yeah, they got 8 sacks in that game. But now the cons of this game. Play calling is bad. You cannot have Carson Wentz pass the ball 47 times in a game, expect to win. Last time we see something like this was another game that the Eagles were passing a lot, and they tied. It's same team, go back years ago. I don't need to repeat it. It was the Bengals, which it did help them in the end with that tie. I don't know how this is going to be, but this was back when McNabb was playing, and he did not know the rule of the tie. Don't need to remind everybody about that, but I'll just say that right now. That's when that game was pretty much bad. They had no 2 running backs. They had like 5 or 6 receivers dressed in that game, I do recall. But yeah, that was bad. So, secondly, they need to run the ball more. I'll just say that right now. That running game. Feed the ball to Miles Sanders in that. Feed the ball to Miles Sanders. So, that takes care of that. Third, Carson Wentz cannot keep passing the ball or throwing turnovers. He needs to relax, go through his progressions, and throw the ball. If he can't make a play, throw the ball right, run for a few yards. That's it. Someone needs to get on him and say, this is enough. We need to adjust. For example, run the ball more. And lastly, number 4, defense needs to do a job of keep them down under 20 points. It's getting to the point where now these teams are going to run down the Eagles' throat and get points. Especially with Joe Burrow. The Bengals are never met. Especially the Bengals. Come on now. And they're not looking for a future, but the future is Joe Burrow, and they can still get 23. Come on. This defense needs to be better on defense. Even though they got 8 sacks, that's not going to help. You got to keep them under 20 points if you want to win this game. So, that's it for that. Like I said, injury, Jason Peters, ankle. Deshaun Jackson with a hamstring. Dallas Goedert, I'm not sure about Goddard. I knew he went out. But another thing, bonehead penalties as well. I mean, it was a bonehead. Matt Pride, they had a chance to win the game. I would just say that bonehead penalty would make that my 5th call on bonehead penalties for the team. You cannot move. If you move on a false start, even though all the Bengals did was move the line, and Matt Pryor moved and made a false start, and the Eagles had a chance to win that game, is unbelievable. I mean, I seen he was shot, shaking up. You know how you feel. He's like, but come on, man. It's one of those. Come on, man. I'll just say that right now. Some say they should have went for it on 4th down instead of punted, but you don't know what's going to happen in the game. That's why. So I'm not going to argue that decision. Okay, my next preview is going to be Eagles against San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is banged up in this as well. They did beat the Giants cleanly. The Giants are rebuilding as well. So let's see what happens there. I say this: they need to feed Miles Sanders the ball. They have a chance of beating San Francisco. If they do that, they should beat San Francisco. And that team's been banged up. But don't count San Francisco out yet. They're a good football team. I'll say that. if the Eagles feed Miles Sanders the ball, if Carson Wentz get his problems fixed, and the play call gets better, and the defense does its job, the Eagles should win this game. I will give them the score of, let's say, 24, San Francisco 21. Close game. We'll make it close. Now, if the Eagles continue to play like they did, I expect San Francisco 49ers to beat them by a score of 35, Eagles 7-20. 35-20. We'll say that. If that continues. But, like I said, I just want to get my thoughts on it. That's about it. That's all my thoughts in the game. It's disappointing. The Eagles had a shot to win it. They failed. End up with a tie. Just like bad enough for those, but you never know. This tie could help or not. We'll find out later on in the season. Please hit a like, comment, and also please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I thank all my subscribers for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, and viewing. Without you, I won't be doing it. So thank you, everybody. I hope everybody's safe, wonderful Monday, and I'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, stay humble, and be a blessing.